Hey everyone, it's Ride 1940 here, and today we're taking a look at Sea-Powered Naval Combat in the Missile Age, and this mission is Battle of the Atlantic, mission number 12, Dead Straight. It's by Deuce 17, and it's got a few mods that you gotta run to use it. Main one is this Iroquois-class destroyer for the Canadians, and that is made by Mr. Chow. And there's also the RCN Sea Kings, which is made by Plasman. This is, I think, a Garcia class that's kind of been kit bash to make it look like a Iroquois-class destroyer. And I gotta say, I was super impressed with the briefing of this thing. If we take a look at this. Now, not only do you get some information here, this here looks so cool. This looks realistic. It makes you kind of feel like you're sitting at the table in CIC and you're going over some orders. And this I love the most. I notice when people play ASW scenarios, they always ask me, like, how the heck do you know where to go? And, you know, because there's mostly nothing like this in a lot of scenarios, it doesn't give the user an idea of where that submarine is. So without this, you can be a crazy player, and instead of going along the course that the mission designer made you go on, you might just randomly go off to the south, and maybe you'll never see this guy, or go to the southwest here. So this is super cool to give you an idea of the situation that's developed that the mission designer wants you to play in. And so now we understand we should anticipate going along the same track here and getting some contact in front of us at some point, in the potential SOSUS contact up here along HMCS, Huron's route. And then we got these other submarines here. So basically the mission designer wants us to patrol in this patrol zone. I really appreciate that. I think that's good. And that'll be really helpful for us to play along here. So I've seen, I mean, this is just a great briefing. Really pleased with it. So basically we've got to look for some SOSUS contacts. We have to maintain MCON while we classify stuff and really only transmit. This is more kind of like you're LARPing or something. Transmit only for safety, deconfliction, weapons employment. You don't have to do that in the game, and honestly you can't in the game in real. If you're really playing it, you just have MCON on or off for the radars, and that's it. And it's really crappy weather, so we are going to have a hard time, I think. Now, I will admit I know nothing about this class, so we're going to have to look at the unit reference here. Iroquois-class, and they've got the Mark 46, the Mark 45 gun, SQS 505. Never heard of that. Hull-mounted sonar. All right. So I could actually hold 2 Sea Kings. That's pretty good. All right. Okay, yeah, so it looks like we also have the 505 variable depth sonar. Definitely going to want to use that. We're going to have to go active, really, because the weather. You can imagine with the rain, that's a huge penalty on detecting contacts, and then, of course, the high sea stay, the stormy conditions here. We're going to want to go active. Let's put our towed decoy out as well, because we are potentially rolling into some dangerous areas here. Let's deploy. Let's take a look at the layer, actually. 309, so there's a layer, actually. Okay, let's see. You want to put that, deploy that below the layer, yep. And then, of course, we'll go ahead and just go active with our high-frequency sonar. So there are other vessels here, but in the scenario, in the briefing, we saw there are other vessels, but we're only in command of this guy, so we're just going to have to make do unless something changes in the future. Right now we're going 11 knots. That is freaking fast. We'll slow it down just to hear some stuff out there and see if we pick up any contacts. This mission was actually recommended to me by one of you guys watching, so thank you, whoever that was. I can't quite remember what the username was, but they said, hey, you should try specifically this mission in this campaign, because it's like bad weather ASW, and I think they thought I liked that, and that is very true. I do like bad weather ASW. Not a fan of it being at night, though, because it's kind of hard to film, and I'm not quite sure how this is going to end up looking on your screens, however you choose to watch this as. At least with the lightning, we get flashes of brightness, so maybe that's the only time you could actually see something. All right, where is this? Oh, the GIUK Gap. Yeah. Actually, when I was in the Navy, I've never sailed up around these waters. Once I was out of the Navy and I do my current job, I still go on warships and stuff, and occasionally we come up in this area. And the first time I was up here, somewhere up around this way, it was the biggest seas I have ever been in, and I remember they were planning on doing routine engine maintenance, like planned maintenance, and they had 2 engines, and one was actually having trouble, and the second one they were just going to do scheduled maintenance, and there was a briefing about all that stuff. And I remember, I didn't say anything because it wasn't my place to say anything, because I was just a rider, not really a part of the crew. But I remember them saying, oh, well, we'll do the maintenance. But this huge storm was bearing down on us, and we knew the next day after this maintenance was going to be done that the storm would hit us. And the storm ended up being, I think the winds that we got were like 70 miles per hour or something. So the sea state was, I can't recall, it was massive. Like we went up to, I remember being on the fantail at like lunchtime because we were talking, me and my coworker were talking about doing the things that we were supposed to be doing on the ship, basically related to sonar stuff. And I thought, oh, okay, well, if the sea stays like this, then it's not so bad, and we can keep doing what we're doing. And we go in to have lunch. It's like 11 o'clock, right? Come back out. Actually, we couldn't come back out because once lunch was over, the weather decks were secured because it had turned so violent. And the winds, when we were out there, was maybe like 9 to 10 feet, like that kind of thing, with the waves. And then the winds had whipped it up so much that it was like the big rolling 20-foot swells, and ultimately got up to like 30, 35 feet or something. And the ship that we were on was like, it was nuts. We went up to the pilot house because we couldn't do our job anymore, basically, and we're just kind of watching what's going on. And when the waves become that big, you have to have people like watch back aft, and as well as obviously people watching forward, because when you're smashing into the waves, you got to time it, and you can't really smash yourself too hard against the waves because you'll put a lot of pressure on the bow, and you can actually damage the ship if it's not designed for that kind of seas and enduring that for so long. So basically the idea is that you kind of want to match the speed of the waves and go with that as best as you can. So you tend to slow down, but you don't want to slow down too much because, and this is why you have to watch back aft, is the waves can start swamping you, and you just get overcome with water. So that's not good, obviously. So yeah, that was pretty fun. I actually wasn't scared or anything. It was just, I loved seeing Mother Nature really raw like that and just violently turn. And honestly, if I wasn't on a military ship, I would probably be more worried. But being on a military ship, people know where you're at, and that every bit of the crew is fully trained, and they know what to do in emergency situations, and would react quickly to any sort of equipment malfunctions. But anyways, when they had the engine, they're talking about this engine maintenance. I'm like, what are they talking about doing engine maintenance on the one good engine before the storm hits? And sure enough, like the day before, they end up doing the maintenance, and something happens at the end of the day. There's like this equipment casualty, and I'm just listening to the words being passed, and I'm like, what the heck? This is bad news, because we're going to be on one crappy engine going through this, what's been forecasted to be pretty violent. But luckily, it was basically some sailor had misaligned stuff when they were trying to put the engine back, turn it back on. It was the junior guy. And so when they did it properly, it worked. So the engine was basically trying to protect itself from an irregular startup. But anyways, yeah, that was like a wow. You guys are nuts. But yeah, that was fun. So back to, okay, we're not picking up anything. So let's go ahead and let's just advance the time. Right till we get some contact here. Oh, storm conditions, abating, winds below flight threshold. We can launch our Sea Kings, now available for ASW tasking. Request to update contact information and vectors from your sector. Standing by for coordinates and release authority. Okay, so this was... Oh, this is from the actual airbase. Okay. Wow, are they launching from the airbase? Oh, interesting. Yeah, I thought we were going to launch from... Well, we do have these guys on board. That's who I thought we were talking about. What does this guy... What does this airbase have? So we got these helicopters. 6 of them. Two Mark 46s with the ASW loadout, 8 die-far, 4 die-cast, 8 die-far. Yeah, I guess we'll go with the just a rounded ASW thing here. I don't know if I want to launch these guys actually. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that. We'll try something different here. The reason I don't want to do that is I'm not a fan of launching helicopters when you have no idea where the frick this thing is. So, oh, there we go. The Huron, which was I think north of us. Let's see here. Mechanical issues resolved. Main engines and electrical systems are fully restored. Resuming the standard operations. Currently regaining formation to the north. Yep, 20 knots. 10 minutes to station, and they'll give us a sit rep, or we will give them a sit rep. Okay. Oh, there they are. Cool. And it's another Iroquois-class destroyer. That seems to be the same message that they sent us. Oh. I see. It was the same message, but now we got the Bagley and the Brumby. So it must have been... I think it was supposed to be a different message. Alright, let's take a look at what these guys have. This is a Knox class, yep. And we got hull mounted sonar, SQS-35. So we'll go ahead and deploy these things. Actually, I have a coworker that was on the Brumby. And yeah, this one's a Garcia class, isn't it? Yeah. One of my coworkers, he was on the Brumby. He was also on the Knox. He was on other Knox class frigates as well. And then he ended his career being on a OHP frigate. Which one was it? It was actually one that I was going to have. One I was actually going, the Johnny Moore, I think. Originally, when I was going to a frigate, I was going to go to that one. So it would have been funny, like later on in life, meeting this person as a coworker and then being like, "Oh yeah, I was on your ship like after you were there." Anyways, it was actually, I do have a coworker that was on the destroyer I was on, and he was there probably right after me. We never crossed paths, but he was close behind me. Okay, so yeah, let's get all these guys set up. We want to get their VDSs out so they can search. Of course, get the towed decoys out. Go banging on active. And it was funny with that one coworker. He basically got, he retired as a chief and as a sonar chief, and him being on the Knox class and the Garcia class is like pretty much his entire career. Obviously he was there on those ships as a junior sailor, and then coming back as like a senior chief. He would tell the story of him telling his guys later on, like, I think he was on the Knox twice, like one early on in his career and then one later on when the ship was close to decom, I think. And he said to his sonar division, "Don't try and hide from me and skate around, because I know all the skating spots, because I was on this ship when I was a junior sailor as well, and I know all the spots." All right, let's go active. They're going active. That's good. And Huron, I think we need to double check. Yeah. To decoy and active sonar. All right, so this is just going to be a big swath search going this way. At some point, we're going to get contact. They will speed up. Let's slow these guys down to 1/3, and then 1/3 as well. We'll let this guy continue to keep speed until he's kind of in line with Iroquois. And when I was LPO on the destroyer, I remember there was this guy that was always missing, and you could tell someone's skating, right? Because they usually you would have your work center supervisors. Oops, what we got here? All right, comms check complete. All units green. Weather stabilizing. Sensors degraded but functional. Request updated. Contact bearing assignment priorities. Okay, so the submarines are now checking in. This is pretty cool because this is kind of how I want submarines to be dealt with in the game. Oh, there's a lot of subs. All right, we got 3 of them. Ooh, he is really sprinting. Let's slow it down. Towed sonar, there we go. Ooh, we got a contact really close actually. We're going to want to slow this guy down to 1/3. Actually, Ray, we're going to want to slow down further to 1/3. And I will continue my story after we get things under control here. So towed sonar. Ooh, they're picking up another guy too. So Bagley is getting 23 miles away. 23 miles away as well. Slow this guy down to 1/3 and put out the towed array. So it looks like we are, this is 20 knot contact, depth 550, okay. So we got here 20 knot contact as well, depth 550. They are continuing to turn. We're going to launch our helicopters here. Let's go ahead and launch one. Go ahead and launch one here as well. Alright, so they 23 nautical miles out. Yeah, okay, hostile right there. I'll point this guy, see if we get more classification off him. Unfortunately, our submarine's not gonna be able to shoot, I think, because 30 nautical miles is a little too far for the Mark 48. I think that's like a 20-something nautical mile weapon system. Yeah, 20 nautical miles. The Soviets do have long-range torpedoes, so we kind of gotta be a little worried because, okay, Victor 1 or Victor 2. So let's take a look at the unit reference here. I think they have subs or torpedoes that can launch like 20-something nautical miles. One of the Test 71s, no, that's 13. Yeah, 27 nautical miles here, anti-surface. So we're under threat at the moment. We got to get the helicopter up so we can get the heck out of the way. What do we think this guy is? So Victor 1, Victor 2, and this guy, let's double check, make sure we're not messing that up. Okay, both think that's a Victor 1 or Victor 2. Brumby will go ahead and also get, let's see what the Cincinnati's doing, 5 knots, good. Do you have your towed array out? You do, good. Get him spooled up with a helicopter. Alright, so just for reference, we're going to put a circle around this guy, 27 nautical miles, to basically remind us. And I don't think that we could do anything while we're at flight quarters, so we're going to have to hold on till these helicopters come up. But once they do, things will get significantly better. We will, okay, good. Alright, so the first thing I want to do is send the helicopter out this way. We're going to keep periodically checking on this guy, because you see he's going 20 knots to try and close us. So we can pick him up that way, and eventually he's going to slow down, right? He's going to drop off. So, but we want to keep making sure we're watching what speed that is and kind of like how far away he is when that happens. All right, and while he's trying to intercept us, we're going to try and open him. So we're going to go all head flank. Remember, he's doing 20 knots, so if we can do better than 20 knots going the other way, we don't have to worry about him intercepting us. And because we've got passive contact from the Ray, which I guess that's where that's coming from, Hammerhead and Ray both have passive contact, so it really doesn't matter if Iroquois is running away full speed. Okay, and now we got the other helicopter up. Same thing. We're going to do the same thing here. We're going to drive this guy towards the submarine, and then we're going to take our Bagley. We are going to run out of this circle, basically. We want to get the heck out of Dodge before this guy gets a good solution on us and shoots at us. So remember, speed is like your best friend. Obviously, in a heavy sea state like this, the sea will impart some losses to your total top speed, but you got to do what you can to try and open the contact. We got our shooters here and our guys that are going to be watching over us, closing quietly, and hopefully we will have a nasty surprise for the victor. If we can get it within 20 nautical miles, these submarines can do their job and kill these other enemy submarines for us if the helicopters are unsuccessful. We could launch helicopters from the airbase here, but I honestly don't see the point of that. They're just so far away. We have helicopters that are so much closer, and many of these ships have multiple helicopters, right? This guy's got one. I think the Iroquois ones can carry two. Now these guys should only hold one, I think. Yep. And the Iroquois should hold two. Yeah. So we got 4 there between the Canadian ships and then 2 additional ones between the American ships. So 6 helicopters total with 2 submarine contacts. I think we're okay. In fact, this guy will have him make his way that way. We'll see if we can kind of skirt along the Victor here. Send the Cincinnati up this way. Now there is a danger here that when we're closing our friendly submarines with the enemy submarines at the same time that we're operating our anti-submarine helicopters, the danger is always going to be you cannot control what the torpedo does when you drop it. So you need to make sure you drop it in a way that it's only going to go after the enemy. So if you're going to do ASW with the helicopters in the game, right, they are Victor 1s, at least this one is, you're going to want to make sure that you keep a nice safe distance for your submarine to hold back behind until you wait until your Mark 46s will run out. So they've got the range of potentially 8 nautical miles max. The airdropped ones, they should spiral down, so they shouldn't necessarily go out 8 nautical miles, but always give yourself some extra buffer. And definitely keep the big picture in your mind, right? Because you don't want to lose track of a sub getting way too close and then you not realizing when you're so focused on shooting at one of these submarines. All right, so we're doing pretty good. Okay, in the seas we're doing 23 knots and 20 knots here. So this Victor is basically not opening and not closing, but we can mess with its geometry, right? Because it's going to probably try and do a point pursuit or point pursuit, so it's just going to point right at us. We can keep opening it, moving away in certain directions, and then it's going to be lagging behind us until it figures out that we've moved a certain direction, and then it'll try and, ideally for him, he would want to do a lead pursuit to try and get in front of us as best as he can. But if we keep changing course, he'll be lagging behind the whole time, basically. And even though we're going the same speed, him lagging behind those course changes ultimately will build some more room behind us. It's something that I used to do quite a bit in DCS when I flew the Mi-8 helicopter online. You can, even if you're really close in speed, you can do some things with geometry and give yourself some more space. Someone's trying to chase you down. Okay, so we're getting pretty close. We know what it is, and so I'm not going to attempt to drop a sonar buoy or anything yet. I'm going to drop a torpedo on it while we still have good contact, and then I will drop a sonar buoy to just maintain contact on it while it goes nuts with the noisemakers. And actually, we're gonna anticipate dropping 2. Usually with the Victors, you're not going to get a clean kill on the first shot. You're going to need at least 2 or more. So with that in mind, we'll drop 2, We'll drop a buoy. We'll stay on station just to monitor it while the other guy comes up, and hopefully we get some hits. And if we do get hits and kill it, that's great. If we don't, we'll have another helicopter on the way with some more weapons to drop on the guy, and then that should be it, hopefully. All right, so this Victor 1, who's tracking it? Sorry, that's not what I wanted. Okay, Hammerhead and Cincinnati. This is good. I wanted to make sure we saw who was tracking who. If we got multiple submarines tracking these hostile ones, that's good. So we're not going to lose contact. Although I think that this guy is only being tracked by the Ray at this moment. Oh wow, Hammerhead's also, oh, I guess so. I was thinking Hammerhead wouldn't be tracking this because it's kind of towards the stern end here, but you know, they do have flank arrays, so it's plausible. I'm assuming they have flank arrays, I don't know that for sure. That's plausible they can see that way. Yeah, because this Victor is somewhere back this way, so it's kind of, oh, yeah, they've got the towed array out, okay. That I could believe. That's pretty cool. Canadian, just the mod that adds the Canadian squadrons. Okay, so we're losing him right now. He's going 5 knots. We immediately want to put down a marker where that's at. And then I kind of want to put a ruler behind that, kind of showing the last known direction. We'll try to get this as close as possible, I guess. Alright, so change of plans. We don't know where the guy's at anymore, so I'm going to want to drop die-cast sonobuoy right on top of him, on top of his last known bearing. He's not going to be able to get away from that. Okay, the same thing with the other guy here, so we need to, so he's slowed down to 5 knots. Drop a marker, and also we'll draw with the ruler his course, roughly. Doesn't have to be perfect, it's just for your own situational awareness. And same thing, we're going to drop a die-cast. We'll do below the layer. Plop it right on top of him. Oh, his last known, yeah, 350, and what did we say the layer depth was? Oh, we gotta pick a ship for that, I think. Oh, layer, yeah, so he's under layer, okay. Alright, so this should drop below the layer pretty soon. Okay. Below the layer as well. Oh, we have a hostile torpedo inbound. Let's zoom out here. 7004, where is that at? Oh my god, I did never notice this contact here. 5365, 2 miles out. This is really nuts here. This is bad. We're gonna salvo 2 right at this guy. Call that a hostile, obviously. We're going to. Yep. I need to be able to control this. Okay, here we go. Okay, with the 5365s, it's really important that we don't cross the line here. So actually, I want the. Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to try to direct control as best we can. I wanted him to go turn that way, but he ended up deciding to turn the other way. Okay, fire 2 more at this guy. Alright, so this Wakehomer, it appears that we're okay, we're safe. This ASW torpedo, I'm not so sure if it's got some secondary mode that it can target us as well. We're going to find out. But this guy is also in a lot of danger as well. It's not just us, because this is kind of like that knife fight in a phone booth I always talk about. He's going to have a hard time running away from 4 torpedoes now that are coming at him in close succession. So we're going to have to... I'm just going to go part myself this way, go open him as much as I can. Alright, we've got, I think, another... Okay, the active torpedo callouts. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, these are weird callouts. Okay, so they must be having a hard time picking up this guy. We need to put a marker down here, basically, to show us where he's at. I'm going to want to get this guy's helicopter over there. Go give him a hand at the moment, because he's going to be tied up. He's not going to be able to do stuff with his helicopters. We're going to want to race to the area and support this ship. Okay, he looks like he's trying to close in towards us, so now what I want to do is I want to come left towards him a little bit, and I'm going to want to fire... how many torpedoes we've got? We've got 1 tube ready, so we'll do single shot. We got a 5365 coming this way. So we're going to fire again. Alright, and at this point we're basically going to have to zigzag our way to safety and hope that it works out. We're not going to be able to see behind us with the torpedoes coming at us, so I'm not going to be able to tell really how good we're doing against the 5365s. We lost the active contact, but we did fire at it, so I suspect it's going to be maneuvering to try and get away from these Mark 46s, so there's that. We do have the helicopter on the way. This is a lot going on at the moment because I'm so focused on this, but there's also these other contacts we're trying to shadow, and I'm not going to be able to really focus on searching at the same time. Let's do intermittent, and let's drop kind of this way, and then shift drop. Oops, yeah. Let's go that way and then kind of drop this way, I think. Hammerhead, I'm going to want to close that way. Oh, this is not good. Alright, so we're going to have to go close them, kick out a noisemaker. Upscope. Is that the submarine talking? Oh, this torpedo, it might be all we got now. Ooh, it's getting close. Yep. Yeah, this is not good. Alright, that's the active return. Salvo 2 while we can. Fire at this guy. Alright, we're still alive, so we're going to fire torpedoes at this dude. Alright, so about 30 seconds we'll have another torpedo we can fire in the direction of... I think we're lost. Yep, ship's going down. Never mind, we're not going to be able to fire that torpedo. Well, that sucked. I just didn't pay attention there to the map, but now we got harder thing to do here. We got classification, or we got an underwater contact over here now. So we'll go ahead and... oh, hit track. Okay. So that guy got hit, and this one looks like it's homing pretty good, and I'm hoping this guy also gets a hit on him. Okay. So anyways, back to the other task at hand. There's a couple tasks at hand actually. Okay, we want to drop the active, well, we can drop a DIFAR on him, I guess. What's his depth? 290, and we're saying that the, let's go to, where's it, the environmental log? Yeah. 323, okay, so he's in the layer at the moment, so let's go ahead and go above layer. Okay. Yep, that's good. Oh, I think we're like too close. Okay. Alright, hostile sub clearly. We're going to run back this way and then we're going to come back in and fire at his stern while he's going towards his buoy field. This will be good for us so we can kind of watch what happens. And then let's go take a look back up here. Are we going to get another sub contact? Did say he got hit again, whoever he is. So the hostile sub is somewhere back there. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to get any more hits. Oh! Oh, freaking A. Now that was a quiet victor. Jeez. Really close to that. It's just wild. Okay. Let's tell this guy to salvo 2 on this contact here. So I think this guy, yeah, he's dead. Okay. So we no longer need to bring that helicopter up that way. We can focus on searching. Alright, I'm going to want this guy to drop some sonobuoys over here. Or when we're dropping submarines, or sonobuoys, submarines, we want to do it in front of the contact, and this way we get the benefit of holding contact up to the buoy, and then we have it going beyond the buoy, so it's kind of like, think of it as two times the chance of detection. If we drop it behind him, he's always going away from it, so we're losing out on potential tracking time. Alright, he knows that we fired at him now, so he's dropping his noisemakers. We got another helicopter coming, so that's good. Once that helicopter comes on station, we can relieve this guy. He can go back and get some more torpedoes while we conduct more attacks. 30 knots. This guy is hauling, and he's being held actively. Who's holding him active? Okay, it's just the buoys. Okay, good. Ooh, he's driving right into him. Yes. Oh, yeah. If we get 2 good hits here, this will be good. It'll hopefully, like, damage him critically and then hold him for some kill shots from that other helicopter that's inbound. Did we get one more? Can we get one more? It doesn't look like it. Oh, maybe. Oh, we're pretty high. We're gonna have to circle down. Okay, while that is going on, alright, I think what we're gonna have to do is basically go along this way, assuming this guy is trying to head towards the Bagley. That'll basically be that. torpedoes going off in the wrong direction. It's going 10 knots now, so that's good. It's helped us continue to open with the Iroquois, so we don't have to worry too much. Kind of right on that edge of that 27-mile limit for the torpedo that they can carry. So we got a new passive contact. All right, good sonar buoy drop right there, actually. So let's go ahead and not waste any time and try to conduct an attack on them. We got the sonar buoy holding detection, so that is great. We know that that's the Victor, obviously because of the location where it was at. I'm not worried about hitting American submarines because we know where the American subs are at. So we can consider ourselves cleared to roll in with some torpedoes. Now if we didn't have contact with the submarines, like, you know, when they checked in, if that didn't happen yet, I would have to be kind of paranoid to make sure that I'm not shooting at an American submarine on accident. Because now we know where they're at, it's totally fine. We'll just go ahead and call that hostile because we know it's hostile. There go the 2 torpedoes. I just don't know why there's a minimum range for these torpedoes. It's kind of strange. Alright, what is he at? He's at... Oh, he's shallow. Okay, so what's above the layer? Throw this out in front of him. He's not reacting, he's going 10 knots at the moment. And back up this way, we're just waiting on this helicopter to get to the Victor to put some more weapons on him. See, now he's getting he's getting away from us, so let's get some buoys out in front. Alright, that's a lot to manage here. Okay, he sees the torpedo, he's increased his speed, and the Mark 46 is going off somewhere crazy. This one, though, hopefully works out. Looks like the submarine is turning, he's up, yeah, there he is over there. I can see him kind of turning into is what I was going to say. We just need this torpedo to come starboard a little bit. Oh no, I think we're gonna miss it. Yep. Oh, maybe. Nah, looks like we're gonna miss it. He's going right over the top. Yeah, you can see that. Yeah, right underneath. Okay, so we want to stay on top of this. Have sonar buoys monitoring him at all times. Lamplighter is on the way. Oh yeah, that was another thing that was added that I didn't talk about yet. It's really cool that the helicopter squadrons now have their call signs correct. I think for all the helicopter squadrons, at least on the U.S. side. So that is freaking neat. I love that. Did he get hit? Or did one of our torpedoes eat a sonar buoy? Alright, new passive contact. Wonder who that was. It's going 14 knots on the surface. Ah, man. Missed opportunity. Damn. So there's a new passive track, 7028. I wonder what the heck that is. 7028. Oh, yeah, it must be these. Yeah, it's these noisemakers. This guy's going crazy with them. 15 knots. Lamplighter's on the way, thankfully. Okay, so let's go ahead and RTB this guy. Well, this guy will conduct a dual shot attack on this guy. Oh, that's going to be pretty close. That's a good drop. Yeah, that submarine's really near. Is he just below us? I hear him. I'm frantically looking around here for him. Alright, helicopter's coming back in. So we have a similar situation here where we need to... We can pass the contact off. One more buoy, I guess. Couldn't hurt. Okay, let's go RTB this guy. The other helicopter's on the way, so this will give us time to reload torpedoes. Lamplighter 1, you are not going away. You have to hold contact. Alright, nice. Yeah, this is a busy scenario. It's just geographically pretty close, but it is pretty taxing to have a lot of things going on like this when you're just one person. Alright, so he's hit the contact. He's going to drop a sonar buoy. Hopefully this is, yeah, he's hurt. He's going 10 knots now. Let's see if we can slow him down some more. It's going to be a while for the snake to come into formation here. So now we can, I think, slow down to, let's go 2/3. Oh, you know what? We can totally get this guy with the Mark 48 now, so we'll just do salvo 2. Okay, and should be able to just go really fast. Go flank speed. Alright, I think that this is going to be enough to kill that dude. And... are we in range now with the Ray? Ooh, Ray is just barely out of range, yep. Just barely. Okay, and here we go. There we go. We're gonna actually let's hold off on firing. Let's make sure we know where the guy's at. So we'll drop a passive sonar buoy in front of him. Re-detect him. Okay, well, this other Victor has gone down before the Mark 48s can get into him. So we're good here. We can go ahead and RTB. All this stuff is done. We need to get acquired on this guy. Oh. Well, that's interesting. That's is that an oil slick back there? Or am I seeing things? Was I seeing things? I think this other submarine went down. I thought I saw some oil sheen or something, but... Okay, let's try to reacquire this guy. Oh, he's back. Okay, good. Never mind. We can go ahead and drop 2 Mark 46s right at him. You know what? I have not been doing the search step below the layer I think he needs to be at. Alright, so he's kind of going to get sandwiched now. He's got a torpedo looking at him from... Oh, I thought that was below the layer, but it's going back up towards this upper layer here, so he's probably going to get away. That's too bad. We're going to want to put a sonar buoy out this way to monitor things. Okay, Hammerhead is going to close the Victor. Iroquois is going to turn course here. Slow it down. Alright, so we got a second hit on the Victor, and they're really slowing down now. That's good. Okay, I think they're gonna come to the surface. You know what, let's get Iroquois to come up here at flank speed. Go ahead and cover some survivors from the Huron. I think if we do 2, we can go all the way to the surface, and we'll see if there's any life rafts around. Yeah, they are. Okay. This is a crappy place to go down at. So, jeez. It'll be good when they recover their helicopter to get the helicopter up there as well as fast as possible. Because I think that we got this submarine in the bag. Yeah, it's sinking now. And I'm not sure if there's any survivors to pick up over here. Oh, here's the oil sheen. I think that's the oil sheen. Yeah, it's hard to tell in the darkness. Don't really see any life rafts around here, so... Yeah, nearest is 41 nautical miles. So I'm guessing that's up this way. Alright, they got a lot of flight time, so that's good. Alright. Oops. I always do that. I'm trying to take screenshots and stuff. Okay. Alright, so we're going to have everybody go to their same ASW course. And then just hold on. We'll have Iroquois go up there and pick up survivors with their helicopters and whatnot while these ships continue the ASW hunt. Yeah, that Victor is dead. We didn't win the mission yet, so there must be more things out there for us to deal with. Oh, you know what? I always forget that I can hold the shift button down. Oops, there we go. He's returning to base, but he's got enough fuel to go and do this mission as well. We'll have that helicopter head up that way. There's nothing else here except sonobuoys and some torpedoes, and then Snake 1 almost fully recovered. Bagley will then go ahead and return to its spot in the formation on the search. Let's speed things up and just see what happens. So these guys can hold 26 on board each. Hopefully that's enough. This information stuff is just so nice. I'm glad they added it. It's a great addition to be able to see how much time you got left and how much range is left on the waypoint and that kind of stuff. I think if we do this, this will be the first time in a scenario I've gone and remembered I could rescue people after they've been shipwrecked. Okay, we gotta be careful. Yeah, that's what I was worrying about, because I was thinking to myself, I know we let one of these submarines go full speed. Yeah, so we want to be quiet. Let's make sure we got our towed sonar out. Towed sonar's out with that guy. He's active, that's good. Okay, good. Alright. Everybody's doing what I want them to do. Actually, let's double check Ray. Ray should slow the heck down. Ooh, got some noises. What are these? 5 knots, surface contacts. Interesting. Actually, I don't want to hook the contacts, because when they fade like that, then they just disappear if you've attached things to them. Oops. All right, my understanding is that we just need to. Okay, these helicopters here just need to go. Go down to the lowest setting, right, 20 feet, and then they should pick up people. Don't collide, don't collide. Alright, so I think they're just gonna pick. Yeah, it looks like the things are disappearing. Alright, let's double check if they're all full. This guy is not full. This guy is full, so we'll have him return to base. Okay, and then you can go, I guess, back aft a little bit. See if this works. We got a raft kind of close. Alright, cool. I think we got everybody in this area. 5. Oh, there's somebody else here. Oh, right off the side there. So let's shift it over. It'd be nice to be able to, like, I don't know, be able to click on it and be like, go get that guy or something, or they see it on the map. Or you just tell them pick up survivors in a general area and they just do it. Because I'm not quite sure. I can't direct control this guy. So I kind of gotta. Okay, I think he's got him. Nope. Yeah, 4 nearest 92 nautical miles away, so we're good. Cool. We've saved the day. All right, cool. That's awesome. Never done that before. So we're gonna go return the survivors. They can actually go up in altitude. Actually, I do want them to go up in altitude because I think I want to run the surface radar to get an idea of what these dudes are. Oh, you know what we can do? Let's send our submarines over, make sure we're intercepting them, and get closer to periscope depth. We'll look at the ESM mast and we'll see if we're detecting anything from them. Alright, Iroquois is going to race towards the helicopters to get survivors, then we're going to cut over and we got to figure out what this stuff is over here. That's pretty cool. We got a whole rescue mission in on the side here. It's kind of a side quest. And it looks like the weather is getting a little better, or maybe that's just because the sun's coming up. What time is it actually? The local time is 4:50 in the morning. Basically did ASW all night. Alright, well, we got some downtime. Back to the story I was trying to say maybe like 40 minutes ago about sailors hiding and stuff. When I was LPO on the DDG for Sonar, I had this guy who would always disappear, and I was really confused at where the hell he could hide, because I knew all the hiding spots in my division, and I knew a lot of the hiding spots in other people's divisions because I knew people that would skate. And the easiest way to skate in the Navy back then is called it carrying your skateboard, and it's basically holding a clipboard, and you holding a clipboard walking around the ship kind of at speed with like a look on your face like you were busy made it seem like you were doing something and nobody would bother you, so we called it the skateboard because it helps you skate obviously. And then yeah, so I knew a lot of ways that people would skate, but I never could find this guy, so I was like, what the hell is going on? And one day he messed up and he was leaving his hiding spot right as I was passing by, and I caught him. Basically behind the Combat Systems Equipment Room 3 on a destroyer. It's kind of you can imagine like an Arleigh Burke. You got the superstructures, and then there's on Flight 1 basically it's just like one level here where the missile deck is, and then you got the flight deck. When you go inside the ship on the port or starboard side, there's a P-way, and there's a P-way that it kind of goes down the main side and then it cuts over, and we call it the aft horseshoe P-way. And Combat Systems Equipment Room is kind of like right around there, and that was my general quarters spot. And also there was a computer in there for me to like do office work and stuff if I needed. But anyways, I was walking back aft to go there to do some office work, I think, and right above that entrance to that space in that major P-way, there was a hatch or something that I never saw because it was obscured by pipework and stuff, and it went to like a fan room that was tucked away above up in the overhead. And I've never seen a configuration like that on a ship, so I never even thought that that was possible. But he had come down there, so I was like, where the fuck have you been? And so I popped my head up there, and he had built a little freaking nest up there. Like he had like old like jackets and stuff that he was using to lay down on and sleep, like make his own like makeshift bedding. It was freaking insane that he got away with that for so long. And then after that, he could never use that space because that was the first place I would check. I don't know if that dude stayed in the Navy, because last I heard he had gone to submarines, and I thought that was pretty nuts, because he was he was quite a piece of work. I used to, the same guy, I had such problems with him because he didn't like to shower like daily, and like on a ship, like you really gotta shower daily. Like you gotta work it into your schedule somehow, right? Because you can imagine just being around greasy, oily things all the time. You just stink, you sweat. You know, some of the spaces are super hot. Even if you're in a cold space, if you're like in combat systems, you still, you know, especially on deployments to the Middle East, you're sweating. Like you're not getting away from it. So you gotta clean yourself before you get in your rack and stuff, because once you get in your rack, when you're not showered and you've been working all day, that kind of stuff, your rack gets really dirty and gets stinky, and people around you are going to notice and not like that. Anyways, this guy, it was kind of hard for him because I think it was his first deployment. I think it was kind of his first time where people were like, hey, you know, we got hygiene standards you got to adhere to, you know. And it's hard for, like, I think he's probably 18 at the time, you know, for other people around his age saying like, yo, you stink, you need to shower and stuff. But anyways, I was a little bit older because I was the LPO, and I've been there for a few years, and then basically medical department came to me, so it was like one of the docs, and he said, hey, you know, we have to have a shower watch on this guy because, you know, people are complaining about the smell, and like I looked at his rack and it's unsatisfactory, and so you're gonna have to watch him every day to make sure he showers. And so I'm kind of pissed off because, like, here I am, like a grown-up, having to essentially be this guy's babysitter and make sure that he takes a shower. And so what I had to do was, you know, by order of the doc, I had to make sure that I saw him get into the shower and at least hear the water running and see him come out of the shower wet every day. And that was my job, and then I had to report to medical that he did that. And so that was really annoying because it's like, you know what, I shouldn't be having to do this. I should be able to just tell you that you need to take a shower, and then you take care of it yourself, and that's good. So I ended up having to do that for a while. And that's why I always thought it was nuts that I heard he went to submarines, because I think on submarines, I'm sure they, like, you know, they share racks with each other, so I'm sure they would freak out if somebody wasn't, like, holding themselves to, like, a clean standard and something like that. So, or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they don't care, because maybe everybody stinks down there. I'm not sure. Anyways. Yeah, there's all kinds of personalities you meet in the Navy. Alright, so we are recovering these guys. That is pretty neat. It's our little rescue helicopter in our rescue mission. Oh, you know what? I think that he's gonna have to, yeah, he's gonna have to slow it down. I noticed the helicopters will have a hard time landing if you're going flank speed. Sometimes they'll just keep chasing and never be able to land. Once again, I was gonna say that's cool that the other helicopter's kind of circling around waiting to land. I think I like this angle better with the gradient of the sky for the morning. That's super cool. I wonder if this is the one. This must be the one with the 26 passengers in it that we rescued. That's awesome. I'm hoping we really do see like actual you know, Canadian units. So I've worked with some Canadian ships in the past, like definitely some of their unrep ships, and I don't know if I've told the story before, but like the one thing I really remembered about Canadian ships, one we were in Panama with another Canadian ship, and I remember I was on duty, but I was allowed off the ship to go like the store or convenience store near our pier or something, and I think I was doing like a soda run for people on the ship that were on duty, and it was kind of nighttime, and I noticed the crew of the Canadian ship, they were all kind of like just out hanging out in front of their ship, and I started to talk to one of them, and I was like, why aren't you guys out in town? Because this is Panama, and Panama's a fun city. And he's like, well, a lot of us, like, you know, you go see this town or whatever, and then at night, instead of like paying for the drinks out in town where it's all super expensive, like they're allowed to drink on their ship, so they just open up the liquor cabinets and stuff and they can just drink. I don't know if they had to pay for it, but like I know on the British ships you got to pay for it, and also there's kind of a limit if you're like a junior rate or a senior rate. But I'm not sure how it was with Canadians, but they looked like they were having a good time, and so that, was one of the interactions with it, but the one I remember clearly the most was we were doing an exercise off of Hawaii. Here comes the other helicopter. And we had it was like a ASW exercise. So there was like, we were really shooting like those, not recoverable, but like exercise weapons at each other, essentially. And it was like you're fighting like it would be a real war. So we had a Canadian vessel with us. I can't remember what frigate it was. And obviously when you're doing stuff like that with other nations, we all have like set procedures that everybody says clearly, and then they do certain things a certain way, and so everyone's on the same page with each other. And this is like an ASW battle that's supposed to go on for like a week or two, so it's pretty intense, and especially for sonar, because you're just basically port starboard the whole time, like long watches, and you got to pay attention, because like if you don't, you can get killed by the other submarine, right? And so I was assuming the watch, and my normal thing that I would do is I'd go up to combat first, this was on the DDG, walk into combat, and then talk to my senior chief, who was going to be, he was like the ASW evaluator. I think they have some other positions now, but there's people in combat doing a lot of things for ASW too, right? Because there's all this plotting you have to do. So I'm kind of getting the picture from him and like what he intends to do and that kind of stuff, and what the TAO wants and what the CO wants. And so that's my routine when I was to sonar soup. And then I would go down to sonar, walk up forward, go down there, because it's well away from combat, and at least I would have the picture of what combat sees is going on, and then I can carry that into sonar and tell the watch team and whatever, and then I get the turnover from the guy that's down there already. And anyways, so while I'm up in combat chatting with the senior chief, they have these like phones that talk out to other vessels, and they're secure communications basically, but the voice is just broadcasted into combat, and it was this Canadian accent. And this is like in the middle of my senior and I just talking about stuff, and he's like, this voice in the sky basically says, "They're fucking shooting at us." And we're just like, what the hell was that? Like, that is not the verbiage that you need to say when stuff's being shot at you or anything like that. And my senior chief had turned over looked at me, and he laughed, and he's like, "I think they're having a hard time over there." And of course we had to go, call him back and be like, "Well, what the hell's going on? Like, can we get more information? Because you're supposed to say all this stuff." Yeah, and I thought that was hilarious, and I'll never forget that. They're fucking shooting at us. Oh man, I think it was the first time that they experienced that, and it is good. I mean, that's what training's for, right? You get it out of your system then, because when you get shot at in training, it's like, it could be a shock sometimes if it's the first time, and hopefully that helps you be more steady when it happens in real life, if God forbid it does. Okay, so yeah, I'm not sure how else to proceed here. What we got on the mission? Let's go look at this briefing once more. Oh, this was really bright all of a sudden. Protect neutral shipping and avoid misidentification. Oh yeah, that's the last thing I want to do. So maintain MCON, transmit only, prioritize passive localization, use discrete active search at discretion for final attack geometry. I absolutely didn't do that. This was not the weather to be doing just prioritizing passive localization. Imagine the sub's really quiet, and then on top of that there's all these bad weather conditions. The thing that you can control is how loud your sonar is, at least in an active search, so it can be beneficial to use it in crappier weather, or if the submarine's like super quiet. Either way, you still should always try to get passive contact, but just this would be a time that you would also try to use active to help you out. Ready torpedoes. Okay, well, I don't know if we hit all the subs or not. That guy's dead. That guy's dead. This guy's dead. Unfortunately, we lost a submarine. Maybe there's one more out there that we're not seeing. He's got his passive sonar out. Oh, this is crappy for the submarine. Kind of rough seas being this close to the surface there. My dad told me a story when he was, he was an attack sub guy for like his whole naval career, did 20 years, and he told me one time he was on watch, and they were, I don't know, like 200 feet deep or something, and they were rolling because it was so stormy in the Atlantic that night, and the guy that I don't know what the positions are called, but basically the officer of the deck for the submarine, maybe it is called officer of the deck, I don't know, but the guy that was basically in charge of driving the submarine and all the commands given at the time was like, hey, he wanted to come up and do like a periscope check or something. And then my dad like looked over at him, kind of made a face, was like, sir, you know, if we're rolling this much, like this deep in the water, what do you think's going to happen when we get closer to the surface? Like, it's not going to be a good time. So he ended up like ignoring my dad, obviously, and was like, no, we're going to do it anyway. So once he got closer to the surface, though, I think it woke the skipper up, and he was like, what the hell are you doing? Like, let's get out of this because this is not comfortable at all. And then he didn't do that again. All right. Nothing on ESM or periscope. Let's launch a helicopter. Just do a radar search. We'll just clear those radar contacts we had up that way. Make sure they're not hostile and they're just merchant shipping. And I think that'll be it. We'll just quit the mission, I guess, because this is going to go on forever otherwise. We'll see if one slinked by us. I am worried when I hear them say upscope, and it's like, is there a submarine near us or something? Like, who was saying upscope? Alright, so we did have ships or something out that way. Let's go ahead and gain... Let's go up to 10,000 feet. And then radar on. Yeah, I'm hearing like upscope and raise the ESM mast in an American voice, but I'm not understanding why. Oh, I wonder if it's because the sea state's too bad. Okay, well this is, let's go below the layer. Yeah, don't know anything else that I could do here. The one thing I could imagine that oh, we got some noise. Okay, there we go.
Turn to course 039. Down line. Turn to course 03.
5 knots. They might be trawlers. They're kind of together. Well, they are a mile apart. They're kind of going the same course and speed. They're going 5 knots too. I'm not sure what to make of that. We're not picking them up on ESM, so I don't know if they're at MCON or if they're just a small fishing boat with like really tiny comm nav radar. Periscope's not picking them up either, maybe because the sea state's so bad. They're still kind of far, 18 nautical miles, so yeah, they probably wouldn't see them. Lamp lighter is just out of fuel. Let's launch another aircraft and go check them out. Yeah, I say we go identify these guys and then call it a day after that. So I like this being in the dark theme. Yeah, my coworker who's been on the Knox-class frigates and stuff, he's told me the VDS, the VDS is nuts to work with. And back in the day when they used to attach at the bottom of the VDS like an additional towed array on top of that, so you can get passive capability. And you actually had to like get the fish out there and then pull the towed array on a special handling thing, and then pull it to attach some cabling and stuff to the VDS on the aft end of the VDS, and it would share like an umbilical cord, I think, that went up the cable. All this while this door is open and while things are under tension. Like, that to me is freaking crazy, especially to handle the towed array, because you know, you drop that's going to be gone, right? You could pull somebody with it if you're touching it too. Freaking nuts. And the towed array systems I worked on, like the SQR-19 Alpha and the Bravo, they, you know, it was all just the thing you threw through the chalk and that was it. The dangerous thing was you basically tried to wash it off as best as you could when you brought it back on deck, so it would come through the chalk. And somebody's operating this gigantic drum, and you rinse it with water, but you also have to have people with hands on rags and stuff just gliding against the array as it came back in to catch the excess water. And you know, you snag your finger on something with that if something was wrong, it's going to break your finger basically, or worse things can happen to you. Alright, let's get our surface search radar on. We're going to go right towards these guys. I mean, they're so tiny, we're not picking them up. I mean, we are pretty low. Let's get up a little higher, 3,000 feet. We're just picking them up through sonar. They're 31 nautical miles away. Only on sonar so far. Oh, interesting. This count of air torpedoes and then regular torpedoes. They should just, you shouldn't have like a miscount, basically. Oh, actually, I see what they're doing. It's, yeah, okay, that makes sense. So the air torpedoes and the Mark 46 torpedoes is the difference is basically because you have 6 in the tubes, which is correct. I was gonna say they should share the same magazine, so like as long as they're not in the tubes, it's the same torpedo. Literally, you pull it out from the torp mag, you can put it into a helicopter, or sling it from a helicopter, or you can put it into the Mark 32 triple torpedo tubes, and you can use it that way. Okay, we got 3 contacts now with radar echo smalls. We're going to look at these guys, we're going to point them, we're going to do put on my binos. Basically, I do this. Right off the nose somewhere. We're going to have to get lower, I think. It's a little hazy up this way. I don't see anything so far with the weather. Okay, I got a boat down there. Okay, that looks like a trawler. Oh, you know what? We're going to go investigate these guys, because I wonder if one of these things is a Soviet spy trawler or something, and it's been feeding the information to the submarines. We're going to get real low. Search past them. Okay. Alright, they all look to be like trawlers. Okay, well, we identified everybody. I mean, we sunk the submarines that we had. RTB, this guy, I guess. Yeah. I think we're going to call it. We'll just hit escape and see what happens. Incomplete. There's an unknown objective, so... yeah, I don't know what that objective was, if we had to cross a... cross the patrol zone or something, but regardless, I mean, I had fun. This was pretty neat. It was pretty nuts that we got that close-in knife fight, and you know, the initial exchange, I don't know that we survived it, because I think maybe that torpedo from that first launch that we detected did actually chase us down in the end, but we did live long enough where we were able to engage that really close Victor class with our over-the-side torpedoes, and we fired a bunch at them and eventually sunk them, so that was really awesome. We tried to send an air asset out there to help them, but the Huron unfortunately was overcome by that 5365 and it sunk it, but at least with our Mark 46s we did some over-the-side shots and killed the other guy. Those other submarines, they were pretty hectic to deal with, because you got that close-in Victor with the Huron that we were working with, but at the same time trying to manage regaining contact on the guys when they slowed down those other two Victors, going from 20 knots to like 5 knots and disappearing. But we were able to avoid any other casualties because we basically stayed outside that anti-surface bubble from the Victors that we did detect, and at that point we could use air power to destroy them, and then localize the contact and figure out where they're at, and then kill them with the helicopter airdrop torpedoes. So that is pretty cool. Didn't use those other Sea Kings from the shore side. Yeah, I'm just not a fan of like flying helicopters that far when you don't know where the heck where to even go, and by the time you do know, because you have ships there, it's just faster to use the shipped air assets because they're so much closer. You know, they're like half the travel time or less, I think, in the case of that airbase being out where it was. So yeah, this was a fun mission. This was the 12th mission for Battle of the Atlantic. It's called Dead Straight, and it's made by Deuce 17, and of course features the mod, the Iroquois-class DD. That we had 2 of them in this mission. That was by Mr. Chow, and of course the Sea Kings for the Canadian Air Force and the Canadian Navy. Those were made by Plasman, I think. So give those things a look. I'll link them all in the description of this video so you can download them. But if you go get Deuce 17's, or Deuce, I'm not sure what it is, if you go to his workshop page, you can see the dependencies, and it'll basically give you a link to download all those things if you need to. So yeah, this is quite fun. I like ASW in bad weather, and I was glad that one of you guys recommended it to me. If you know of ASW missions that are out there in the ether, and I haven't found them yet, let me know, because they're always fun for me. I like what I don't like is if it requires like a crap ton of mods. Like, this is nice because these mods are just they're kit bash things, so they don't require sea lifter or what's that other thing, anchor chain or whatever the heck that is. Things that require other things I don't like, but simple stuff like, it's a simple kit bash mod, that's fine. Weather, ASW, love it. Briefing on this thing was amazing. It was like one of the best briefings. Let's take a look at that again. This is just so detailed, and I love this so much. Like, it just is so nice to help you kind of get what the mission designer is aiming for, and give you like a situational awareness. This is kind of like if you had walked into combat and you're about to go on watch, and you're getting the status update up in combat before you go down to Sonar, and you would see stuff like this, or you would get information like this. I would say, okay, this is where we're at, this is what we're doing, They just got contact, and they're coming off watch. You're coming on watch. We're going to go after this contact that they've been holding, or that they, got a ping on or something. So that's just so cool. It's really immersive, at least if you've done this stuff in real life, to be like, yeah, this is kind of like the information you'd be getting. It's pretty neat. And I did like all the cool breaks in the radio traffic and stuff, where we were slowly getting units back from the problems that they were having over the night. Same thing with the submarines. Unfortunately, I don't know what the other report was. I don't know if we just had to cross the whole patrol zone or something. But I had fun regardless. Hour 30 minutes of ASW, I can't complain. And we actually got to rescue a bunch of sailors from the Huron. I don't think we rescued all of the souls, because there was one helicopter with like 26, and I think the other helicopter had like 9. So yeah, there's quite a few people missing that were taken by the Atlantic Ocean there and gone to their graves, unfortunately. With that grim thought, we'll leave it at that. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below, and I'll get to them as soon as possible. See you next one. Bye. Well, it wasn't actually over. I was curious, so I let my submarines run out a few more minutes on like max time compression. We did actually find 2 Yankee subs. It was actually difficult to pick them up, because these subs kind of have a mind of their own, where they're going to periscope depth on their own, doing this mission type thing. They're going to check ESM in the periscope, and then they're coming back down. They're sprinting and drifting, and I definitely don't want them to do that. I give them other orders, but they'll over time just override it, even if they haven't reached the end of the waypoint. So it's kind of a nuisance, but I don't have any more contacts that I'm holding at the moment. We sunk these 2 Yankees just with Mark 48s. One of these poor bastards, I think this guy, he got rocked with 4 Mark 48s. So he was absolutely ruined. You see 3 right there, and then 1 there. This guy took 2 and he went down. That was it. Haven't seen anything else, so at this point I'm really going to call it. Let's see how we did. Let's see what the exit briefing says. No, there must be maybe another Yankee sub out there. Oh well, I'm over it. I'm done. Okay. So like I said, if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below, and I'll get to them as soon as possible, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.